You update on what's going on with the upcoming weather for this week and our weather impact alert here. Wednesday, there's still some questions about it as to how widespread and how strong the storms will be, but the ingredients sure look like they're there. Just wanted to show you the Kirkwood Farmers Market because you can see the red buds blooming now. You're also seeing some of the leaves starting to pop out on some of the trees. That comes into play too here as we go into Wednesday, because not only are we dealing with that severe weather threat, but like we saw in the middle of March, you're going to have some pretty strong winds with this. 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts seem pretty reasonable, a reasonable expectation as we head into Wednesday. And we've already stressed a lot of these trees out, and there's loose branches and weakened limbs up there. So I think we're going to see some more tree limbs down, some more scattered power outages, even without the storms, just from the winds. And now that we're starting to add blossoms, blooms, and leaves to the trees, they're starting to bud out. That's more resistance to that wind, so they're more susceptible to having some wind damage. Well, it's just kind of a side thing to consider here. All right, main risk, damaging winds, large hail, even the potential of tornadoes. We're level 3 out of 5. There probably will be an upgrade at some point in the next 24 to 36 hours. I'd bet on it being south and east of St. Louis. But again, we'll wait and see. The storms that went by along the East Coast today and into the Southeast, they're pretty intense, they were. That was from what we saw yesterday. Now our attention turns to the west, and out to the west is where we're finding, at this point, that similar pattern that we've had since the end of last week when we started talking about this upper level system out here spinning and sending these chunks of energy our way so that we end up with rounds of showers and thunderstorms. Once we set what we saw yesterday our way, once it sends our system for tomorrow, then for Wednesday, we're kind of out of the severe weather threat for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we think, as the system stalls to our south, but it's going to set up the potential for some pretty heavy rainfall. So outside of a few high clouds around right now, it's mainly clear. I'd expect it to stay that way for the next several hours. We should have a pretty sunrise tomorrow morning because it's just high clouds coming in. But then they'll thicken as we go through the day tomorrow. We're going to say about 10 o'clock until 8 o'clock on Wednesday, 10 in the morning till 8 in the evening. That's a pretty broad window. And we'll narrow it down when we get closer. Some of the guidance tonight says, hey, St. Louis, you're not going to have a problem. Some of the guidance says, St. Louis, hey, you're going to have a problem. We get into this point now where the high-resolution models that allow thunderstorm development and are usually halfway decent at it, they struggle with these larger storm systems in general. So we still see all the ingredients there, which lends us to believe that we have all types of the potential for hail, wind, tornadoes. It's all there. How that's going to interact and how they interact with each other, we don't know. So charging your phone, staying weather aware, making sure your family and friends are weather aware. This is one of the things we're looking at here. And a couple of the ingredients are right here. One's the wind shear, and you see that with the strong winds aloft. And I've only got the arrows turned on here for winds that are at or over 60 miles per hour, about halfway up in the atmosphere. So these are your jet stream winds. They are strong. Now, St. Louis is here. That strong area of wind is still to the north and west of most of the metro area here before daybreak on Wednesday. The shading here is your instability, your storm energy, your fuel, if you will. Okay, kind of the juice that's feeding into this storm to soup it up. So as we go into Wednesday morning, the strong winds aloft start to nudge in over us. At the same time, we're still building the instability up and across the region. So by the time we get to lunchtime, now we have a pretty large portion of the area that not only has winds aloft that are pretty strong, in some cases, we may be talking 70, 80 miles per hour or higher. We're talking aloft now, but that acts like a vacuum cleaner and sucks the air up and helps thunderstorms grow, right? And that wind is even stronger to our northwest. That's where the core of the jet stream is in terms of the strongest wind, which puts us on a favorable side to enhance the rising air motion. Couple that with this instability, and it means we have potentially strong to severe thunderstorms that develop for some of us, especially during the afternoon, perhaps into the early evening hours. Exactly how this is all going to pan out, that remains to be seen, because it's just like a recipe. And boy, I've said this a lot in the last 31 days. You put the ingredients together, you mix it up, and if you've left one little thing out or you change something in the recipe, it may suit your taste, but it may not be the same thing. So these are the 4 severe weather ingredients we look for. And all of them appear to be there. The shear, the lift, those 2 things are on the high side. Instability is pretty decent, and moisture is very adequate. So when we look at this, comparing it to, say, yesterday, it's a more impressive setup than what we saw yesterday. Some of you east and south of St. Louis yesterday had some pretty large hail, close to 2 inches across, maybe a little more in spots. So these ingredients are there. It's kind of similar to what we saw on the 14th of March with the stronger wind fields across the area. So that's why we've pushed the winds as being in a higher category. We also think we have the potential for some supercells, which means large hail, and the potential for tornadoes, in addition to spin-up tornadoes. And, when you're looking at this kind of wind with a system, even without the severe weather, I think we're looking at enough wind where we're going to see some scattered power outages. So this kind of pulls you through the course of the day as we kind of watch these showers and thunderstorms roll through the area. This model is actually the last run, the newest run that came in of this particular version, said it didn't like our chances for showers and thunderstorms. I don't agree with that at all. I hope I'm wrong, but there's too many other models that say something's going to happen. And because these convection allowing models, CAMs as they're called, tend to miss some of this development, we think that at the very least there's some severe storms. The greatest chance for the most intense storms is probably east and southeast of St. Louis, more likely in southeast Missouri, southern Illinois. But we can't say that definitely at this point. Power outages are possible. We need you to stay weather aware for this. Now, I am monitoring over here your text line. If you have any questions, here's one right now wants to know about the timing in the St. Louis area concerning the commute to or from school on Wednesday. I think getting to school on Wednesday is not a problem, but we could have some intense thunderstorms about the time school's supposed to get out. I can't guarantee that for sure, but that is certainly within the realm of possibility. Now, our school superintendents, they're all on the National Weather Service, decision support list, and so they will get in their inboxes, they will get a packet that will kind of pin down what some of the concerns are for them and specific to school districts. 314-425-5355, that's the number you can text your questions to if you'd like me to try to answer them for you on this Monday night. Again, we're not looking at this severe weather threat, we don't believe, until we get into Wednesday. And we think the focus for Tuesday into Tuesday evening is all staying to our west and to our northwest so that it doesn't impact St. Louis or the 5 on your side area. Now, it's kind of cool tonight. We only made it to 55 today, and we're back to the mid-40s in town. Outlying areas are even cooler. Again, here's a look at what we're dealing with Wednesday afternoon. And this broader perspective here doesn't want to kick up a lot of storms around St. Louis, which we think is missing something here. We think there will be something as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. But you do notice that you do have some of that stronger activity trying to build off into southeast Missouri, down into Arkansas, trying to get into western portions of Kentucky and western Tennessee. And I think as we head into Wednesday night, this will become the focus farther east and southeast of St. Louis, but this model's struggling at this point with that. Now, they did get the Cards game in tonight. The Angels, I believe it was, in town again tomorrow night. They'll get it in tomorrow night. Not sure about Wednesday. It's day game on Wednesday. So after we get done with our severe weather threat, this is going to be another problem. So the storm system stalls down to our south. The front does. And that system that's still out west, just kind of churning in the Pacific, keeps churning bundles of energy. So each time one of those comes through, it brings with it a wave of rain and some rumbles of thunder for us. The severe weather threat then would shift to the south and east. Now this will include the rainfall totals for Wednesday's system, but it also includes what's coming behind that for Thursday, for Friday into Saturday and winding down early on Sunday. And look at this bullseye down along the Ohio River into southeast Missouri, southern Illinois. There are places here that will get 5 to 10, perhaps maybe 10 to 15 inches of rain as you get down towards the Boot Heel, down towards Paducah. Most of us are going to get 2 to 5 inches, we think. Now, if this trend has been shifting a little bit farther north with each model run, if that trend to shift this heavier rain, the 5 to 10 inch band, continues to show up a little farther north, we may end up with additional flood watches farther south and southeast of St. Louis. That's not really going to be a problem until along about Thursday into Friday. You can see down across southeast Missouri, a beneficial rain would be one that produces an inch or two spread out over a time. Same sort of thing back over the Ozarks, generally dry conditions. Problem is if you're talking 10 to 15 inches of rain, even though you're spreading it out over 5 days, that's a problem. And that's going to bring a lot of rivers in southern Illinois and southeast Missouri up, certainly going to cause significant rises on the Wabash and the Ohio River and the lower Mississippi. Not so much so for St. Louis, right? But Perry County in Missouri, Jefferson County, and Clay counties in Illinois, we have the flood watch already issued by the National Weather Service. We may be adding some more counties to that, especially Reynolds, Iron, Madison, I'd say St. Genevieve, St. Francis, Randolph County, the areas south and east of St. Louis, more in line. And this isn't going to happen until, really Friday into Saturday. That's when our greater flood threat really starts to show up. Meantime, we're dealing with that severe weather threat as we push on towards your Wednesday. So the winds get a little gusty tomorrow. They'll be out of the southeast. Clouds do increase through the course of the day. High clouds will continue to thicken. Even though we're in the low 60s for highs, it will not feel like it. Your strong storm chances, they're there on Wednesday. You have the instability. You have the winds aloft, the shear, the moisture. You really have all of the pieces appear to be there for us. It's just a matter of seeing how they interact with each other. And we say this every time. You can compare storms and springtime storm setups, frequently. And, we do that, kind of give us an idea, but every one ends up being just a little bit different. They're always a little bit different. So, even though we can compare it to others, that's just, it is what it is. But we have waves of rain coming after any severe weather threat for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I think that'll move out on Sunday. And we may actually have some frost, and some of us may actually have freezing temperatures early next week. So that's why we have our weather impact alert here. So we got the timing-wise down, got that taken care of. Someone says they go to class, they'll be in class at 1:30. Will I be in the storms then? It's sure possible. We don't know. That's the short answer is we're not exactly sure how this all pans out. But the risk is there. The ingredients are there. What we see is all the ingredients are in play, and it sure looks like we are set up and in the right position to see some strong to severe thunderstorms. So just plan ahead. Know there's that threat. Make sure your friends and family know. Stay safe. We'll be here to keep you safe. We'll be streaming on 5+ Wednesday, and of course, when we need to be, we'll be on TV as well. I'll let you go for tonight. Have yourself a great Tuesday. Should be quiet tomorrow, just a little chilly.